Bethany Manctelo here. Welcome to our Millwall fan show with some new voices, but the same focus. Just everything Millwall. Enjoy!
Welcome to the 2023-24 series of Millwall No One Likes Us Talking's, our Millwall fan show. I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Dawn Turley, Ted Robinson and George Lampey.
Not everybody likes them, but they don't care.
Welcome team and listeners. Well, I believe Monday night, Joe Edwards was, or was it Sunday night? Joe Edwards was announced as Millwall's new head coach. Andy Myers will be his assistant manager. Adam Barrett will stay on the coaching team and Paul Robinson has left. We'll start with you then, Dawn. Can I get your thoughts on that?
Yeah, happy. I think it's hard to judge him at the moment. Obviously, we can't judge him at the moment. He hasn't got much managerial experience. So I haven't heard that much about him. But happy from what I've heard him talk about. The interviews that Millwall put up on their Twitter, I like the sound of them. Hopefully, he talks a good talk. So I would like to think that he's going to come in and kind of get working with the lads straight away. I like the fact that maybe he, working with the younger players when he was at England, that maybe he may know of a few younger players to, bring some in. We've had good experiences with people such as Cresswell and Ballard, and you'd hope that maybe he would be looking and thinking about who he could possibly bring in to our team in the future.
Ted, what do you think about it?
Echo a little bit what Dawn was saying there. I mean, we don't know much about the guy. Well, we don't know anything about him as a manager as such, but he's got a lot of experience in the coaching world, and he's been a good coach in some good positions. At the end of the day, the guy was part of the team that won the European Champions League, with Chelsea. So, you've got some experience from going through that. But it's obviously been his first job being in the position as being the main man. But I'm pleased. I'm pleased that it's all been decided. They've decided to go down this route rather than having the experience of, say, someone like Nathan Jones. They've gone with a younger manager with new ideas, I would hope. And the thing is with these guys, unless you give them the chance, you're never going to know. We will know by the end of the season how we're going to be going, if you know what I mean. Hopefully, he's got ideas. He's got players in mind that he hopefully will help him along the way. Get a few people in January, and the obvious thing is because he was England under-20s head coach, you can see him looking at the younger lads, and hopefully the younger lads that we've already got at the club he'll be able to bring along, because there is a new style in the way football's played, and these new managers are coming out with their own ideas with it. So I'm excited. I'm also a little bit apprehensive because there's no guarantees in football that it'll work. But certainly if he was going to go down the route of a young manager coming in for his first appointment as a head coach, this guy's got all the right CV for it. So let's hope that he can get on with the guys that are there now, get them playing, get them a bit more confident, and hopefully we'll see our boys climbing up the league. Anything to add, George?
Well, I agree with both of them. Of course, this is a journey into the unknown, from not only for him but for us and all, isn't it? It's quite really interesting. The one thing I would say, that looking behind the scenes, is that I think Alex Aldridge has been involved greatly in this, in the interviews with all the managers, that have applied for the job. And he seems to think that this guy's head and shoulders above everybody else. Now, I've got great faith in Alex Aldridge, actually. I've seen him from a young fella grow. And, he's taken over our recruitment since he come back. I think our intake of players is much better these last couple of seasons since he's been back at the club. So, yeah, I'm if Alex is involved in this and he thinks Joe's the fella, then I think I'm quite happy about that, actually.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I like the approach because obviously, Ipswich done it with Kieran McKenna. to go for a young, aspiring coach. And I really like that. It shows ambition from the club. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him. And obviously he's worked with youngsters at Chelsea, so you never know. You might know a few youngsters there and say, "Do you want to come on loan?"
The thing is, Miles, us as fans, we have to be a bit patient with him. You know, I mean, I'd hate to see if anything goes wrong this Saturday and people start turning already. I mean, you've got to give the guy a chance. Let's see where we are at the end of the season with him. Hopefully, he's moving in the right direction. That's the thing. But there has to be a bit of patience with the guy.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to turn into Barcelona overnight. We'll take a break there and hear from our sponsors, G&M Motors.
Hi, this is Jess Tuffield from G&M Motors. Operating from a modern and purpose-built facility in Milton Road, Gravesend, G&M Motors offers a complete range of new Honda cars and services. As well as new Hondas, we have an extensive range of used cars, including ex-Motability cars from a variety of manufacturers. Specialising in new Honda cars, G&M Motors has been retailing quality new and used vehicles to the people of Kent and South East London for over 4 decades. We have been a Honda dealership since 1972 and are the country's longest serving supplier of this renowned mark. Conveniently sited just 2 miles from the A2, 10 miles from the M25 and Dartford Crossing, visitors to our showroom are assured a warm welcome from our experienced and friendly staff. Our facilities include an on-site workshop capable of providing full vehicle servicing and repairs, as well as an extensive parts department offering genuine Honda parts and accessories. The expertise of our skilled mechanics is not limited to just Hondas, but extends to most makes and models of motor vehicles. Whatever your motoring needs, visit us at G&M Motors today. The newly extended hours of our G&M headquarters means that you can contact us from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. on weekdays and 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. on Saturdays. To contact us, call us today on 01474 365 026.
Thank you, Jess. Debbie Julian's here. Don't forget to call Jess on 01474 365 026. G&M Motors have been dear friends of the Julians family for over 4 decades now. From my dad Lenny to me, Debbie, Lions together.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Dawn Turley, Ted Robinson and George Lampey. Many thanks to our sponsors, G&M Motors. Why not go along, check out the Hondas and see what else they have on site at Gravesend. Our first guest of the evening is a former Lion who came through Millwall's youth team, making his professional debut in 1977, playing for Millwall's first team. In 1979, remarkably just 24 hours after winning the FA Youth Cup, he played for the first team. In 1981, he left the Lions and moved to Tampa Bay Rowdies over in America. He had stints at Charlton Athletic and Gillingham before rejoining the Lions in 1986, and leaving again in 1988 for local team Fisher Athletic. During his two spells at the Den, he played 150 times for the Lions, scored 17 goals and kept the bench warm for 90 minutes on 7 occasions. He went on to play for a large number of non-league clubs and was still playing in the Kent County Football League at the age of 40. In 2008, he was appointed manager of Fisher Athletic before they reformed as Fisher FC in 2009. His third stint at the Den was working with our academy for a good number of years. Welcome to the show, Dave Mehmet.
Hello, Dave.
Hello there. All right there.
Evening, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Evening.
Dave, it's great to have you on the show. Before I hand you over to the panel, I wanted to ask you, you've been around football for many years. What are you doing these days to keep yourself busy?
Just help a local club out, Stansfield and Burnige. Just help them out on the advisory kind of thing. We've got a very young side this year. We got promoted 2 seasons ago into the Kent League, which is quite a decent level, and done quite well last year. Struggling this year, lost a few players through due to money. We're probably the only club in the league that don't pay money, so all the other teams think they go our best players. That's life.
Used to be paid in beers
Hi,
in my day, Dave.
Yeah. We too. That's what we was. It was all mates playing together. Had a drink after the game. Things like that kept them all together. But it seemed to have lost a few players this year. which is understandable under circumstances. A lot of them gone to clubs where they're getting good money, so you can't stop them.
Hi, Dave.
Hello there.
How and why did you join? Did you come to join Mill as a youth player? Who signed you up?
Be true, yeah. I was at Mill since it was about 11, I think. You know, at them days you should train there, train at Charlton, train at Palace, all different nights. But it's really Billy Neal. He was in Cutting Watch our Sunday team, and a lot of our Sunday players. With Villa Court, it was a good team. A lot of our players went to Millwall, but it was down to Billy really.
Hi, Dave. It's Ted here.
All right, Ted.
Yeah, hello, mate. There were a few managers during your time at the Den.
Yeah.
How do you remember them all? And who's the one that you was most fond of?
I would say Gordon Jago. He was my first one, but it just weren't that. He brought in, youth team manager called Oscar Hart. And if you ask any of the players who played under Oscar, like he was like years before his time. You know what I mean? We used to train 3 times a day then, morning, twice in the afternoon. It was like kind of thing they do now. You know what I mean? But he was like, and Gordon Jago, to be fair, was above for his time as well. To be fair, they was like probably the best 2, had a great influence on my career. Plus Billy Neal.
Hi, Dave. George here, mate.
Hi, George.
And I've got to ask you being on, I mean, what was that FA Youth Cup final like?
To be fair, that was probably, when I look back, it was probably one of the easiest games we had. To be honest, it was so comfortable. We played Nottingham Forest, I think it was in the quarterfinals. And that it was our feature. Whoever won that game was going to win the FA Youth Cup that year. And we drew at home. We beat them away 1-0, but it was we was the best 2 sides by a country mile. In the semi-final against Everton, quite comfortable. The final, be true, probably the most comfortable game from the quarterfinals onwards.
Is that right, Dave? Did Brian Clough came into the dressing room after the game to say, well done to you lot?
Yeah, he said, well done. He come in.
Am I right in thinking, I think we had a bigger crowd for that game than we had for most of our own matches, for the first team during that season, didn't we?
To be fair, I think they said it was about 6,000-7,000 at the Den for the cup final. At the time, you couldn't get another person in the ground. And the following night, I think it was about 3,000, aren't we?
Yeah, that's how it works, yes.
It was a full house. It was definitely a full house. You couldn't get another person in.
Only Millwall could get more for the youth team than for the first team, It's mad,
yeah. Well, in them days, don't get me wrong, that was, for us to win the FA Youth Cup was like Millwall winning the European Cup now, you know what I mean?
That's why you guys, for all them years, should be, applauded as we do today, because it's such a rare occurrence.
It all started off. Bob Pearson started it off, and I think they won it about 3 times after. I think in the space of about 5 years or something like that. I know they won it twice. I think they won it twice after. Once after they got beat in the semi-final. They was getting beat in semi-final, things like that. So they had it all set up. The youth set-up was really good, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You left Mill in 1981 to join Tampa Bay Rowdies. Can you tell us how that came about and what brought you back again in 1986?
As I said a little bit before, I didn't really want to go, to be honest with you. I was put under a bit of pressure by Millwall at the time. I turned it down 3 times. But Millwall was in so much financial difficulties at the time, paying the wages and things like that. It got to a stage where I gave in, really. I ended up going. I quite enjoyed it, to be fair. It was a different experience, put it that way. But my wife couldn't settle over there, and it got to a stage I had to come back, really. I'll come back and I'll train with Millwall. Barry Kitchener was the manager then. I'll come back, I'll train with them for a little bit, but they couldn't. Barry said they couldn't afford me. We told me that from day one. And I went to Ipswich, to be fair. I went to Ipswich for a month. Bobby Robson was manager. Quite enjoyed it there, but it was the same kind of thing. There was only one sub in them days, and their midfield was Tyson, Muir, and Walk, Gates.
You'd have had a job there, Dave.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, my mate Kevin O'Callaghan was there, you see. And he had the same problem. He was like, weren't getting enough games himself, you know what I mean? So I decided not to sign for him. And he had a right go at me, Bobby Robson, to be fair, for not signing. And I signed with Charlton. Alan Murray was the manager. And I thought I'd go there and learn a bit off him. And I was only there 2 months, and he got the sack. So, and then they went skint. They went skint about 2 months later. So it was a difficult one all round. You know what I mean? So it was just a bad mistake on my part. But you don't know in them days. It was difficult. That's life.
There's a common theme here, Dave. Everywhere you go, the club's skint.
Yeah. I know.
Oh, how much was they paying you, Dave?
Not enough.
Yeah. Just without Bobby Robson, he never knew nothing about football. Fancy not putting you in front of Tyson and all them players. He was far better than him.
It was a great club. Honestly, I was there a month and I really enjoyed it. But I was used to playing regularly then. That was the problem. I was used to being a first team player. I was like 20 then, 21. I didn't really want to sit around. Say there was only one sub in them days. It was probably like if there was 3 or 4 or 5 now, I'd probably sign for them. I think in one sub, and Kelly was like always the sub in them days. He was having saying the same thing to me. Really, he weren't getting enough games.
Yeah. Well, let's come back to our beloved Lions. You were with our academy for 8 years, I think. I also recollect that you were not enthused about how it subsequently evolved. Can you tell us about your involvement and what frustrated you about the recruitment after you left?
Millwall's had a great academy. Bob Pearson set it all up from when I was a kid. From when I was about 15, 16, Bob come in. He set this academy up, and his goal was always to be number one academy. And we was gradually getting there, to be honest with you. When I went there, we was playing Arsenal, Chelsea's. Yeah, we was playing Arsenal under 19s. They had Fabregas, Senderos, Stokes. Had about £10 million worth of players, I'll say, on the pitch. And we competing with them. Not competing with them, we beat them. Right? And Liam Brady come up after the game and went, how does Millwall do it? And that gives you great confidence in what you're trying to achieve. And I say Bob Pearson's goal was always to be number one. It was trying to get in category one, playing your Arsenal, Chelsea's, all them type of teams, week in, week out. And that's how you judge what you got as young kids coming through the system. You're playing against the best, you know what you got. And when I left, Theo left, and Theo was all up for the youth football to give him his due. A lot of people don't agree with a lot of things he'd done, but I will say so. I'll stick up for him. Youth football was his goal. He knew that was the way the club had to go. And when I left, about 6 months later, it took them all that time to get in this category one, getting all the certain things done and whatever, and it took them 5 minutes to come out of it. And that's what disappoints me. Now you're not judging your players against. I do think they still play them kind of sides, not on a regular basis. So when I left, it took them 5 minutes to come out of it. I know a lot of it's to do with finances, but the only way you can judge really what kids you got coming through the system is by playing the best. I think that's where Millwall's missing a trick at the moment.
Right, let me bring you. Can I bring you back to modern day football? Can I ask you about what you think of the modern method of play? High press, 5 or 3 at the back, goalkeepers needing to play their part in defending with their feet. What's your opinion of modern day football?
Well, I think you're probably going to see it a little bit now with the new manager coming in. Look, times change in every decade of football. New things come out. I'm a great believer. Like, you take all your good things. It's like the good things of Millwall is their work rate, organisation and whatnot, working hard. And if you don't do that at Millwall, you don't. The crowd tell you straight away. So it's getting the balance right. This new manager coming in, it's the modern day to play from the back, and he's going to have to get the balance right. Because I think Millwall tried it. I think it was about 10, 12 years ago, trying to play that way, and the crowd weren't happy about it. It's a different crowd at Millwall than other clubs. You've got to be showing a bit of fight, a bit of character, showing you want to, play. It's getting the balance right.
Yeah. Do you get to the Den very often these days, Dave?
I come about twice a year. I think they missed a trick last year. To be honest with you, I thought they were decent, organised. They was a centre forward away from getting promoted in my eyes. Every time I see them playing on the telly, they was crying out for a big number 9. The way they played. I felt sorry for the boy Bradshaw up front. He needed a bit of help, like the way Millwall played. They played very similar when Cascarino and Teddy was there. To be fair, but they didn't have that number 9 who could flick a ball on and get them out of trouble, getting balls in the box, and things like that. But no, look, they done well last year. I thought they was one player away from not getting promoted, not just getting in the playoffs.
Yeah. I hate to even say this, Dave. Do they look after you when you're down there?
No. Not one hour. We got a players. We got a WhatsApp group. Oh, every player has the same problem. You wouldn't think it. I played Millwall on and off and been involved with the club for 20 years. I can go ring Gillingham up, get a ticket tomorrow. I can ring Charlton up, get a ticket tomorrow. I ring Millwall up and go, no.
It's terrible, isn't it?
That's how you roll it, isn't it?
Yeah. You go Sunday, when they go, who?
I've done a thing. I was saying, I've done on their WhatsApp group. Orney's on it, and he does the thing before the game, doesn't he? Sit down, meal, and all that, questions and answers. Yeah. So he's gonna work. Someone's let us down. Can anyone help us out? So me, Alan Walker, and Mickey Marks went down there. There's no word of a lie. We've done the questions and answers for about an hour. So we come out and went, "Where's our seats?" They went, "Oh, you ain't got no seats. You're in the press box." Right. I couldn't believe it.
You sure? I thought you was ball boy that day.
Right. I ain't being funny. Walks can't hardly walk. He can't get up the stairs. I went, well, as if it was packed. There was about 12,000 there. Wouldn't give us a seat. I'm doing him a favour. I've never been back. And when we come back last year for the anniversary thing, I'm thinking, nah, not me no more. It's just scandalous.
Nothing changes at the Den, mate. Nothing ever changes.
Oh, mate, it was. It's just. I was staggered. I was still staggered this day.
Dave, thanks for joining us, mate. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show. But before you leave us, it's tradition on the show. Please can you give us a prediction for Sheffield Wednesday against Millwall this Saturday?
We've already got Sheffield Wednesday. Where's it? Millwall?
At Wednesday.
New manager coming in. 2-1. Nice 2-1 victory.
I like the sound of that. Cheers. Thank you very much for coming on, mate.
No
Cheers,
problem.
Dave.
Look after yourselves.
Cheers, Dave. Next time you're down here, you can come and sit next to me.
I wouldn't take that off. I wouldn't take that offer if I was you, mate.
Yeah, just sit on his lap, mate, Dave. That's the trouble.
No problem. Thanks a lot.
See you, Dave.
Look after yourself.
Thanks,
Dave.
Dave. Thanks, Dave.
Right, bye.
We'll take a break there and hear from Fisher FC, Paul Owens.
Hi, I'm Paul, a Millwall and Fisher FC supporter. There's always been strong links between our clubs, and as such, Fisher FC would like to remind Millwall season ticket holders and supporters club members that entry to watch Fisher is just a £5 if you show your card at the gate.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the No One Likes Us talking team of Dawn Turley, Ted Robinson and George Lampey. Lions away? Well, you can go and watch Fisher. Let's hear from Ellis Barr.
Hello, Ellis here, and I'm glad to be back talking about Millwall. I know many have watched my videos, so you will all know that I don't wear splints as much anymore. Thanks for your support along the way. It is now time to hear what all the Millwall teams are up to and what is next for the Lions. Come on, Millwall!
The Romans and Pride teams didn't play this week, so there will be no update from Paul Loden, their general manager. However, Paul did tell me that he predicts a 3-1 away win at Hillsborough. I only said Hiddlesborough. Jeff Burnige filed a report for Maritime Radio following the Millwall Lionesses game at home to Newhaven in the League Cup on Sunday. Here's what Jeff has to say.
This live now. Yesterday, Sunday, Millwall Lionesses faced Newhaven in the League Cup yesterday afternoon, playing in Rotherhithe as they looked for their 6th straight win. Our reporter Jeff Burnige was there, and here's his roundup of the event.
This is Jeff Burnige reporting on Millwall Lionesses. I'm reporting directly after the final whistle, which saw another big win for the Lionesses, this time by 5-0 in the League Cup against Newhaven. Newhaven, they're no idiots. They're top of the Division 1, the division below. They're champions-elect. They've won 10 games out of 10 this season in their league. Nevertheless, Millwall's recent form continued, and it was 3-0 by half-time. They took it slightly lightly, maybe. They were able to use the squad. A couple of people came in for regulars, Chloe Burr and Ella Bailey. It took a while, but after 29 minutes, Millwall scored a classic goal. It was a classic Emma Witter, brilliant turn on the edge of the box and crashed the right footer into the far top corner. She's on great form at the moment, and it was a great goal by her. That started a rush of goals. Excellent Sophie Chapman, absolute rock at the back as usual. Millwall hardly ever let any goals in these days. She got the second on 33 minutes, and then Witter put Liv McGregor through into the box with a lovely through ball, which McGregor finished on 35 minutes to make it 3-0 at half time. Second half, it was a bit more a question of keeping the ball and using up too much energy in advance of next week's FA Cup tie. They brought on Masie Joyce, who came on as a sub first game last week. This week, Masie, she still looks slightly off the pace, but an off the pace Masie Joyce still scored both goals in the second half to make it 5-0. The first from a penalty on 63 minutes, and then the other sub, Ellen Napper, 17-year-old Ellen, put in a great ball from the right wing, and Masie was on the edge of the 6-yard box to crash it home right at the end, probably on about 90 minutes. So I spoke to Masie after the game. It was your second game back after your layoff, Masie, so how did it feel today?
It feels really good to be back out there with the girls. I think we started a bit slow, but we got into the game quite good, and as we got into our rhythm, I think we started to combine and play well and obviously score some goals.
Well, you came on half an hour to go, something like that, for your second game back, and it made an impression from midfield, both the second half goals.
Yeah.
First one was a penalty, a trademark Masie Joyce penalty, but tell us about the last goal.
Yeah, well, I got into the box, saw Ellen on the wing, and I thought she was going to cross it, so I got myself in position, and it come straight and fell to me. So yeah.
And now FA Cup next week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looking forward to it. Okay. FA Cup's always a great game, so good occasion. Denham away. So.
It's good to see you back.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
Cheers, Jeff. And you can see the Lionesses against Denham United next Sunday, and we'll be previewing that this coming Saturday with Tim Cornell between 4 and 6. We do have a review of Charlton's game from yesterday from Clivar, but I can't face playing that. I'm too upset.
Well, you listeners are absolutely very lucky because you get to hear that preview before Saturday on Maritime Radio. Here it is now.
This is a brief preview of the Lionesses FA Cup match on Sunday at Denham United, kick-off 1 o'clock. If Millwall Lionesses are serious about returning to the upper echelons of women's football, and we are, then doing well in the FA Cup is a vital element in the season. We have won it twice, after all, and we need to remind the media of that fact. The Lionesses have come through 2 frankly easy rounds so far, but this is a different proposition. The tie must be completed on Sunday with extra time and penalties if necessary. Managers Alex Russell and Adam Rowland will be able to stick with the same 16 to 18 players that they usually select from, and they are in great form after 6 consecutive wins. The result will be available on the FA website shortly after the final whistle. We just need to be in the hat for the next round.
Cheers, Jeff. Okay, now then, panel. With the new head coach, Joe Edwards, in place, he will make his managerial debut away to Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday. Dawn, can I get a prediction on the score?
I'm going to go with a 2-1 win. I don't think it's going to be an easy game, but I would like to think that obviously with Edwards coming in, hopefully we'll see some nice football and a positive result.
George, what about you?
Yes, I think we're all looking forward to this because this is all unknown to us, isn't it? And, with a manager, nobody knows how it's going to work out. I'm not sure we're going to win. I'm going to err on the side of a draw. 1-1.
Oh, you're so grumpy. Ted,
took the words right out of my mouth there, Myles, I've got to tell you. Look, we're all optimistic for obvious reasons, but I'm not sure that there's going to be too much difference in this side on Saturday in a sense, but hopefully we'll see a bit of a difference in the way that they play. Sheffield Wednesday, we all know are having a bit of a tough time, but I go along with Dawn. I don't think it's going to be easy. I think they did win the other week, and I was quite pleased that they did, to be quite honest, because I didn't want to be the first one to lose to them. But I think with Joe coming in, I think there's going to be some players out there wanting to show Joe Edwards what they're all about, which is something that should come out of them. So I think we'll have enough to turn Sheffield Wednesday over, and I'm hoping it'll be something like 2-0 to do, mate.
Great. We'll take a break there. And Ted, thanks very much, mate.
Hey.
Bethany Manxello here. Clean Feed by Ted Robinson.
Hold up. We're talking about an online recording platform.
Okay. Our Ted Robinson sponsors our online Clean Feed recording platform.
What were you thinking of?
Well, it sounded like a Parfum D'Homme Intense.
Really?
Behave. Just go online and see who else uses Clean Feed. It's a great bit of kit at a great price.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the No One Likes Us talking team of Dawn Turley, Ted Robinson and George Lampey. What a star you are, Ted. And Clean Feed is just a job.
I've got to find out what the words are.
It's got to be cheap. Got to be cheap if Ted's paid for it.
I mean, all of a sudden there was another language come out there, and I ain't got a clue what was said. But I hope it was
Let's
nice.
ask Bethany that one.
It could have been Ted, you're a right old so-and-so or something like that. But anyway.
Our second guest tonight is a Millwall fan and Millwall Lioness 2. She is one of the 2 Lionesses sponsored by the No One Likes Us talking team. She also captains the Lionesses. Welcome, Grace Seeley.
Hiya, Myles.
Hello, Grace. Hello, Grace.
Hiya, Grace.
Hiya.
Grace, could you tell us about your beginnings with Millwall Lionesses and your subsequent return?
Yeah, of course. So I started playing for the Lionesses when I was just 10. At the time, I played as part of a Centre of Excellence. So we had the Southern Centre of Excellence, which involved teams like ourselves, Arsenal, the likes of Chelsea, Fulham and Brighton, amongst others. And then there was a Northern division as well. So quite a few of the players that you'll see now in the Lionesses and have played at the World Cup, they were playing for the likes of Chelsea and Arsenal at the time, which is insane thinking about it. So yeah, I played for Centre of Excellence up until I was about 16, and then moved into the senior setup, which was a really great experience. At the time, there was no kind of bridge between under 16 Centre of Excellence and the senior setup. So straight up into kind of the first team environment I went, and it was just an amazing experience to be around players who were playing in the top flight at the time, so in the Premier League equivalent in the women's game. And I learned so much from the coaches, and it was a fantastic experience. And as a Millwall fan, it's obviously the most ideal position you can be in is to play for the female equivalent, and it was a real honour at the time. I then got the opportunity to go over and play in America, which I did, and studied over there as well. And came back and decided to kind of, I guess, in essence, I was a bit of a traitor, and went to Charlton for a short while before having a bit of a stint at Gillingham. Now, yeah, boo me or you laugh, I really do deserve it. And then I had a short stint at Gillingham as well, now Chatham, and then back to Millwall, back to the roots for the last couple of seasons, which has been amazing.
That's funny, isn't it? Both of our guests tonight have played for Millwall, Charlton and Gillingham.
Oh wow, what a lovely coincidence.
Hi Grace, Dawn here.
Hi Dawn.
Great to see the improved form of the Lionesses. Do you think the men's team under the management of Joe Edwards will react as positively as the Lionesses did when your management changed?
Yeah, I think so, and I really do hope so. I think when drastic changes happen, for some reason, I'm not sure why, it really just wakes people up and gives people a shake. And I think it's an opportunity to press the reset button and really get some energy and belief into the changing room. It's also a really massive opportunity for the players because essentially they get a chance to impress the new manager, and everyone's playing for a place in the starting lineup. So I'm sure training has been so competitive this week, and I'm sure it will continue to be so as Joe kind of figures out who his starting 11 are. And I also think that Joe obviously brings with him, so much good experience despite being not much older than myself. He's worked in the top flight of the likes of Chelsea and Everton. I know that he's worked alongside Frank Lampard, so I'm sure he's kind of had the opportunity to get some big tips from him. And I'm hoping that he'll bring with him a real professional approach. And I'm sure that all of the players will be really excited to play alongside and work underneath someone who has been working in those top flight environments. And I think given that he's worked with the England under 20s as well, again, I'm sure he's kind of had some great experiences there and can hopefully bring them onto the training field for us as well. I think for us as a team, it was all about how we reacted to Keith Bonus leaving, which was a bit of a shock for everyone. And it's really a squad push. It only takes one or two people to kind of step up and say, look, this is an opportunity, and we kind of have to take it by the horns and do what we can. It's not ideal that we've lost, our manager, but let's move on, let's press on. And I think Millwall men are kind of in the same situation as we were maybe 6-7 weeks ago when, yes, we weren't really on the best run of form, but that new kind of fresh mindset from having the new manager and having a new kind of potentially new style of play really gave us kind of encouragement and it's kind of paid off over the past couple of weeks as we've seen such an improvement in our performances. So I really, really, really hope that the same thing happens for the men, and fingers crossed and all the best to Joe.
Hi Grace, it's Ted here.
Hiya.
I hope so too, because what do you run? 6 games on the spin, have you? That'd be lovely if our men could follow suit.
Let's do it.
Tell us about Sunday's game. Grace. It was against Newhaven, I understand. We'd won 10 out of 10, I believe, before you played them.
Yeah. Well, Sunday was interesting. It was a League Cup game against a team that we didn't really know much about, to be honest. All we knew was that, yes, they're in a league below, but having not lost for 10 games, they must have something about them. So we had to just go into the game, in the same way that we would other games, in the same way that we would if we were playing against the likes of Fulham in our own league, or Ebbsfleet and others, and Dartford. So we kind of just we treated that game in the same way that we would in other games. We went into it with a very positive mindset, and we knew that we could give them, a good competition. I think a lot of us wanted to prove a point as well. Yes, they had been unbeaten, but there is a reason why we are in the tier above, and there is a reason why, they're not kind of in our league and in that kind of competitive environment. So I think we had a point to prove, and the fact that they had been unbeaten for 10 games was actually a really big motivator for the whole team going into that match. As horrible as it sounds, we wanted to end that winning streak, so we were really happy to do that.
Good for you. Hello, Grace. It's George here.
Hi, George.
Next Sunday you play at the Den, not our Den, but the one at the home of Denham United Women in Uxbridge. It is the Women's FA Cup first round proper. What do you know about Denham, and what are your expectations of the game?
Yeah, unfortunately not our Den. So again, same for Newhaven. We don't know too much about Denham, but again, we're just going to apply ourselves to the game in the same way that we would other games. But I think all of us, for some reason, have this really strong attachment to the FA Cup. We know that the kind of history of Millwall women in regards to that competition is strong, and we know that we've had a really big winning streak in the past, and we want to kind of help recreate that for this team. So the FA Cup means a hell of a lot to not just myself, but everyone involved. And I think we want to go as far as we possibly can go, to be honest with you. And we know that, albeit Sunday seems to be a winnable game, we know that they're not just going to show up and roll over. So it's going to be hugely competitive. I think they'll be very physical, and I think they'll be incredibly motivated to give us a game, purely because of the history as well, and because of our name. So we need to make sure that we show up and we do our best, and we get the win, so we can progress into the next round and the round after that, and start playing some of the big clubs. Because I know that will do us wonders in terms of raising our profile.
Grace, you're captain of the team, aren't you?
At the moment, yes. So we have a club captain, Jordan Butler, but unfortunately she's out with a long-term injury. So I've stepped into the shoes of captain for this season. Yeah.
Well, that's all right. You'll be able to lift the FA Cup at the end of the season, won't you?
I mean, that's the dream. That's the dream.
You must have had a little dream about that, surely.
Oh yeah, I think we all have.
Yeah, Ted certainly has, Grace, that's for sure. But
Before you leave us, Grace, as an out-and-out Millwall fan from the cradle, how do you think we'll do in the trip to Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday?
I have to admit, I do think it's a very winnable game. But I think we'd all agree that with the championship, you really just never know. So I think it just depends, again, as I say, how the squad reacts to Joe and his new plans and his philosophy, and how we approach the game. I think if we go into the game with a positive mindset, and we maybe mix up our style of play, and kind of put them on the back foot and become quite unpredictable in that, and I think we've got every chance of winning the game. I'm really excited to watch the game, and I really, really hope that kind of things are about to change, and things will be on the up, and we'll start winning games, and we'll kind of go in on Saturdays. We'll go to the Den and feel really positive, and really believe that kind of we'll start winning the game.
Grace, thanks for coming on. Everyone at No Luck wishes the best to you, the Lionesses, all the best for Sunday and the rest of the season. We look forward to having you back in the new year.
Thanks so much, and thank you so much for your support this season.
With the FA Cup in your hands, Grace, all right?
Would you expect anything less? Thanks very much, everyone. Take care.
Thanks, Grace.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yes, Grace.
We'll take a break there and hear from Bethany Mangtelo, talking about Millwall Community Trust.
Millwall Community Trust, something that I, Bethany Manctalo, admire for all that it does. The Trust was established in 1985, works to provide sporting, education, social and healthy lifestyle opportunities to the local community in Southwark, Lewisham, North Kent and the wider community. Its work is targeted at people of all ages, irrespective of race, gender or sexual orientation, and runs programmes aimed at tackling social exclusion, racism, knife crime, lack of employment opportunities for young people, mental health and disability issues. The Trust aims to be a progressive and campaigning charity that makes a difference to ordinary people's lives. Its work is undeniably essential to the local community. They have sponsorship opportunities to support this work. Email commercial@millwallcommunity.org.uk. I'll say that again. That is email commercial@millwallcommunity.org.uk. Please help if you can.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the No One Likes This talking team of Dawn Turley, Ted Robinson and George Lampey. If you can donate, you will help our Millwall Community Trust to deliver all their programmes across all age groups to people within our community. We're all looking forward to the next game, but in the meantime, here are a few matters of interest for Millwall fans and those interested in football.
Millwall's Football Club 2023 Junior Lions Christmas Party will take place on Sunday the 10th of December between 1:30 and 4:30 p.m. at the Den. Partygoers will be able to enjoy a disco, face painting, an auction and much more. Junior Lions will also be treated to an early present from Father Christmas himself in his magical grotto. Throughout the afternoon, Junior Lions will get a chance to meet their heroes as Millwall's first team squad will be making an appearance. Tickets are on sale now, priced at £8 for adults and £6 juniors to 2023-24 Junior Lion members and season ticket holders, plus their guests. Tickets are limited, so book early to avoid disappointment. Good night.
I've got to have words with who puts this together. How comes Dawn gets to talk about a wonderful thing like the Junior Lions party and I get to talk about next week's blooming show?
Because it's shorter.
Next week.
Dawn gets a great big long one and you get a nice little short one, don't you?
I do, but never mind. Never mind. I don't think they'll accept me as a junior lion at that party anyway. Next week, the show will be back with Eamon hosting, Stan, Jeff and Steve with a couple of guests. And don't forget, Millwall Lionesses are playing Denham United on Sunday at 1:30 at the Denham United's ground in Uxbridge in the Women's FA Cup final. That's their den, not our den. Denham United's ground in Uxbridge in the Women's FA Cup. Why not get along and give the improving Lionesses a well-deserved boost with your support? And it's good night from me.
You got a nice long one, George.
Yes, very nice of them, yes. Bleed control kits have been installed at Millwall Community Trust and Millwall FC, providing access to life-saving first aid treatment in the event of a traumatic bleed injury. One wall-mounted kit has been placed within the ground and another is on the neighbouring Millwall Community Trust Lions Centre sports facility, where it can be accessed by members of the public 24/7. The kits were donated to the club by Matt Lane, who is on a mission to get bleed control kits placed in as many communities as possible. Amir Supplies Limited, providers of the equipment. Matt, whose son is a Millwall FC fan, raised money for the cabinets, while Amir Supplies donate the kits. The kits were unveiled by Millwall FC players Ziane Fleming and George Saville, who are the team's community ambassadors for various projects. What fantastic generosity. Good night, everybody. Mind how you go.
Millwall lost a true fan earlier on this week. Pam, her nephew Danny, posted it on social media, and I thought it was only right to say it on the show that if in the 77th minute there could be a clap on the 77th minute for Pam. She travelled up and down the country, and no doubt she would have been there if she could on Saturday. So, yeah, please, if you can, clap on the 77th minute. And our thoughts are with you, Danny, and your family at this sad time. Rest in peace, Pam. Don't forget you'll be able to listen to the Millwall Lionesses talking team bring reports from our games both home and away for both the Lions and Lionesses, and also updates on Millwall community matters too on Maritime Radio, broadcasting on 96.5 FM. Additionally, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook and X, formerly Twitter, social media sites and all popular podcast sites. That's it from me. Thanks, Dawn.
Thanks, night.
Thanks, Ted.
Cheers, Miles.
Thanks, George.
Thanks,
No,
Miles.
there was no comment. One thing I forgot to add was it was announced yesterday that our Millwall Community Trust are the winners of the Best Community Contribution Award at the Mayor of Lewisham Business Awards 2023. This is so richly deserved for what you deliver to people across the borough of Lewisham and beyond. We know firsthand that what you deliver is first class and gratefully received by those who attend your activities. Congratulations one and all at the Millwall Community Trust from all of the Millwall Lionesses talking team. Finally, let's not forget to keep it safe on the streets out there, and let's not forget it's Remembrance Sunday and a time to remember the service and sacrifice for all those that have defended our freedoms and protected our way of life. Good night.
They shall not grow old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. But the going down of the sun, and in the morning we will remember them.